Hello, yoga fam. Jessie here with a little community flow Sunday morning at 11 a.m. One of my very favorite times of the week. I had a couple of ideas for some side body lengthening, chest opening, and maybe a little twisting today. So we'll see what we get into, and yeah, that is my plan. I hope everyone's feeling well, and as always, if anything I offer doesn't feel good or you'd like to do something else, please be your own guide with that. One of the things that's odd about teaching like this is that when I teach in a group of people, I'm usually watching them to see what they need, what they want, what bodies are doing. So I'm just going on my own experience, and that might be very different from yours. So that being said, if you want to come seated on your heels with your legs together, you could always put a blanket between your hips and your feet. We'll just take a few breaths here. Lean to one side, so crawl your fingertips over as far as you want. You can always lift the other arm or just keep it at your hip. You could rotate your shoulders down or up. And then we'll switch sides. So crawling your fingertips over the other direction. A little lean, a little lift. And then come up back through center. All right. Bring your arms up alongside your head. So they could be out to the side, they could be right along your ears, whatever feels more comfortable. And for a moment here, let's stretch up. So let your shoulders crowd your ears. Reach, maybe sit your butt a little lower. And then keep your arms up, but drop your shoulders. See if you can lift your rib cage up a little more. Ooh, you could stay right here if this is doing something. Option to interlace your fingers, flip your palms, and press. Oh, that might enable you to lift a little bit more. And then from here, we're gonna offer ourselves a twist. So it doesn't matter which direction you go. I'm gonna bring my left hand to my right leg and my right hand to my hip or low back. You could bring your hand to the floor if your arm is long enough. And then without cranking or yanking or pulling, see if you can just sit taller as you rotate. A couple more deep breaths. Maybe looking over your back shoulder if you want. That'll add a little neck sensation. And then exhale, look forward, unwind. Oh, it might feel good to shift around a little bit or wiggle something out. We'll do the same thing, but twist in the other direction. So start by lifting your arms. Shoulders can move away from the ears or lift up. I mean, there's nothing that says you can't lift your shoulders to your ears, but kind of noticing the difference between the two might be beneficial in making your decision. And then if you want to flip the palms like I did and press up, again, try to maybe even wiggle your side bodies. And then we'll twist the other way. So now I have my right hand on my left leg and my left hand just on my low back. Big breaths in and out. Maybe peeking back over the back shoulder for a breath or two. And then look forward, unwind. You can roll things out or maybe do a little seated cat and cow here. Some undulations with your spine and side body. We're gonna go into downward facing dog. We're getting right after it today. So whenever you're ready to, you can come through hands and knees if that's a good place for you to start. As always, the invitation to move how you want to remains. So even though I'm cueing coming towards down dog, you might still need and want time on all fours, in a child's pose. Heck, you could come down onto your back and stretch your hips if you wanted to. More than ever, when we're practicing like together but apart, I like to remind folks that our practice is our own. Our practice is not four walls. Our practice is not a teacher. Our practice is not like a schedule. Our practice is our own participation in change and evolution through our bodies that comes whether or not we're participating. And so here in down dog, how can you participate with yourself? How can down dog be something you're practicing instead of something you're performing? Come on forward to plank. Shoulders stack right over your wrists. Hips are in line with your shoulders. Knees can be up or down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, soften your knees, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Take a few deep breaths. See if you can charge things up. Drag the heels of your hands back towards your feet. Try to lengthen the top of your head away from your tailbone. Exhale, lift back. Downward facing dog. Starting to build some heat in the body. Just keep breathing. Inhale, shift forward to plank. This time, lower to your belly for a back bend. Knees up or down. Press the floor away. When you get there, release the tops of your feet. Roll your shoulders onto your back. Lengthen the sides of your neck. And try to hug your elbows a little closer together. For a moment here, you might want to explore wiggling your chest forward a little bit. Get some extra side body length. Maybe you lift up a little higher. Maybe you found a sweet spot already. And then exhale, release. Tuck your toes, press all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breaths in and out. Walk your feet all the way up to your hands at the front edge of your yoga mat. They could be lots of little steps or a couple of big steps. You might feel ready to hop today. Help yourself. But when you come into your forward fold, make sure that your hands can rest on something pretty heavily. So early on in class, I almost always have some kind of block or book or something to rest my arms on so that my body can start to relax. Go ahead and tuck your chin a little bit here. Soften your knees and see if you can let your head stay tucked. So it's going to be really tempting to look forward, but see if you can keep some cervical flexion. So a little tuck of the chin, a little lengthening of the back of the neck. And then as we lift halfway, don't look forward. Keep your chin a little more tucked. See if you can lengthen the back of your neck. And then exhale, fold back down. One more time, just like that. Inhale, extend out, but not the face. Extend the very top of your head. And then fold back down. Press into both feet. Stand all the way up. Reach your arms as high in the air as you want. And exhale, hands down alongside your body. We're going to take a shoulder stretch. So bend your elbows back. Roll the shoulders behind your rib cage. And then we're going to stretch our hands back, like we were trying to reach towards the very back edge of the yoga mat. See if you can stand up tall. And then from here, bend your elbows, interlace your fingers, press your palms together, and see if you can reach your knuckles back towards the back edge of your yoga mat without locking your elbows out. They're for some people, they're very flexible. And so we just want to remind everything that it's staying a little engaged here. If this is working well, you can just stay put. Another option would be to hinge at your hips, fold forward, and add the shoulder stretch in the forward fold. Try to let your chin tuck ever so slightly. And when you're ready, hands come back to the floor. Inhale to lift and extend. Exhale to fold and release. One more time, press into your feet, stand all the way up, arms lift as high in the air as you want, and then big breath out, fold forward, hands come to the mat, step back to the top of a plank, and pause. Deep, full breaths. Draw your low belly up towards your spine. And then as slow as you can, quick as you need to, press into every knuckle in your hand. Bend your elbows lower down. When you get to the floor, release the tops of the feet. Roll your shoulders back. Come up into cobra. And exhale, release. Tuck your toes. Press all the way up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Couple of deep breaths either in down dog, or you could bring your knees to the floor for puppy pose, or find child's pose and sit your hips back. We'll take a few more breaths. Just checking in. Maybe you can even let your head and neck get heavier here. Lift your right leg up into the air behind you. Stretch your foot back like you were gonna kick the wall or whatever's behind you. And then keep your leg long, hug your inner thighs together, keep your chin tucked, and shift forward to three-legged plank. Breathe deep. Keep pressing the floor away. Draw your right knee in towards your nose. Round your back. Curl up towards your knee. And then keep your knee and your nose close, but lift your hips up into down dog. That's it. Keep your knee and your nose hugging in. Shift forward again. This time, press the floor away. Step your right foot up. Crescent lunge. Right heel is stacked under the right knee. Chest and shoulders lift. So in crescent lunge, your back knee can always find the floor if balance is getting in the way of your hip stretch. But for today, we actually are going to eventually lower the back knee to the floor. So if you want to grab something for under your knee, a towel, a scarf, a blanket, we're going to grab a hold of the left wrist with the right hand. We're going to lift up and lean to the right. So you're leaning over the bent front knee. And then put some extra bend in the back knee and lean even more to the right. So knee is bending towards the floor, body is leaning to the right. Keep leaning as you lower your back knee to the ground. You could keep holding onto your wrist, or you can bring your right hand to the block or floor outside of your right hip. Keep leaning, keep opening. That's it. One more deep breath. Exhale. Both hands down around your front leg. Again, feel free to grab something for under your hands so that you can press down into them. Lift your back knee, reach your hips in the air. Pyramid pose. Your right leg may straighten, but it's not the point of the pose. The point is to stretch your outer hip, hamstring, and lengthen your spine. So feel free to adjust or move in and out of this as you need to. Every couple of breaths, it might be interesting to lift, wiggle your armpits forward, and then try to take up that space as you fold deeper. That's it, a couple more deep breaths. And when you're ready, rebend your front knee, move any props out of the way, and step back through your vinyasa. So whatever is going to connect you to yourself is what we're looking for. That might be lowering to the belly for a back bend. That might be pausing in child's pose or on all fours. We'll meet up back in downward facing dog. Take a few more breaths wherever you are. And then lift your left leg. Hug your inner thighs together. So before we do anything, try to get some length between your hips and your shoulders. Keep pressing into the floor. Hug your legs together. Long, strong spine. Come forward. Three-legged plank. Draw your left knee in. Press the ground away. Round your back. Tuck your chin towards your knee. Ooh, and then keep it. Keep your knee and your nose as close as you can. Hips lift back to down dog. Ooh, keep hugging it in. Round your shoulders to make space as you shift forward and step your left foot up. Again, you might want to get a blanket or something ready for under the right knee as we come up into Crescent Lunge. Oh, or fall out of Crescent Lunge, depending on if you're me. Okay. Right arm comes up. Left hand grabs a hold. Lift and tip. So as you lean to the side, try to bend your back knee in equal measure. Like there was a magnet on the floor bringing you down and you wanted to reach away from it. Oh, yeah. Eventually, your right knee comes to the floor. You can keep leaning to the left, either with your hand on the ground or a prop, or by still holding your right hand. Try to get more space in your side bodies. One more deep breath. Exhale, hands down around the front leg. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. Pyramid pose. Spine gets long, hips reach back. And a couple of times, feel free to lift and fold, to wiggle stuff around or bend and straighten the legs a couple of times. But again, see if your side bodies between your hips and shoulders can get even a little more something. That's it. One more deep breath. And then go ahead, rebend your front leg, plant your hands, and step back. Move things around. However you want to get there, we're coming into another forward fold. You can walk, step, hop, float, feet to the hands. And see if you can get your shoulders further away from your hips. That doesn't mean you have to forward fold deeper. That could be sitting your hips back. That could be crawling your hands forward. Explore that sensation and idea in your own body. That reminder that, like, I'm just a trail guide. I've just been there before. You are the person having the experience. And so what does that feel like today? We're going to bring our feet together about a hip's distance apart. So I usually measure I'm not talking about where my femur bones meet my hip sockets. For most people is about 2 soft fists between their feet side to side. From there, bend your knees, sit your hips back, lift your chest and shoulders. Utkatasana, awkward pose. Draw your belly in. See if you can tuck your chin a little, but reach your arms back behind your ears. That's it. One more deep breath. Exhale, forward fold. Lift your hips, lower your head and shoulders. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Press into your feet, stand all the way up. Arms can lift. And then exhale, hands down alongside your body. Okay, so we're gonna do kind of what we did in those kneeling twists in the very beginning of class, only we're gonna do it in chair pose. So, what we're gonna do is you're gonna sit your hips back, arms lift up. Try to reach towards the ceiling or the sky or wherever you are right now. Option to interlace your fingers, press your palms up, sit your hips down. Oh yeah, get your side bodies long. And then from here, you could either bring your right hand forward, left hand back, or you can bring your palms together and hook your right elbow outside of your left knee. Wherever you are, sit your hips back. Try to lift your chest and shoulders. One more big breath. And exhale, forward fold. Press into your feet. Come all the way up to stand. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms, press up. Press down through your feet as you lift your armpits higher. Bend your knees, sit your hips back. And in the twist in this direction, it does not have to be the same one. Both are good. It's really about how it feels. So take a few breaths. See if you can open up more through the chest and shoulders. Try to sit your hips down. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Bring your fingertips onto the ground or onto blocks. We're gonna stand on the right foot and step the left foot all the way back behind us so that we can bend into the front knee and come up into another crescent lunge. This time we're gonna bring the hands together in front of the heart. Rotate right elbow forward, left elbow back. You could stay right here. You could hook your left elbow outside of your right knee, or you can bring your left hand to the floor and your right arm up in the air. All three of those versions are gonna do the thing. So you get to decide. It is your practice. Which one of these options is best for me right now? One more deep, full breath. Exhale, unwind inside your front leg. Walk everything around to the left. Come into a wide leg forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Shake out through the back of your head and shoulders. Maybe bend your knees or any other movements you'd like. And then we're coming around the back leg. So walk everything to the back edge of the mat. Lift your chest and shoulders. Crescent lunge on the second side. So again, right arm and left arm. Right arm and left arm. Right arm can reach forward, left arm can reach back. You can bring your palms together and hook your right elbow outside of your left knee. And you can bring your right hand to the floor and left hand up in the air. Wherever you are, think about lengthening through your side bodies. One more big breath. Exhale, unwind, walk it around. One more wide leg forward fold. This time we're gonna take a twist. So we're gonna walk our hands out a little bit. Reach your left arm underneath your right arm. Look under your right armpit and grab a hold over the outer edge of your right leg, somewhere on it. So your calf, your thigh, your ankle, whatever feels good to grab. Come up onto the fingertips of the right hand, maybe even bend your elbow. Press into the outer edges of your legs. Start to look up and under your armpit. Ooh, that's it. One more deep breath. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Take a couple of breaths there. Inhale to lift up. And then walk your hands out. Right arm reaches under the left one. Look under your left shoulder. Find the outer edge over your left leg. And then come up onto the fingertips of your left hand. Bend your elbow, press down. Press into your outer legs. Look up and under your armpit. Deep, full breath. And then exhale, forward fold. Walk yourself back up and around your front leg. Step back. Move through your vinyasa. Okay. So a couple of breaths in down dog. Maybe you're looking to heat things up even more and you want to come down onto your forearms for dolphin. Maybe you want to be in child's pose or something I haven't said. Let's take a few full breaths. And then we're going to bring our right foot forward. Back knee down, but it's not going to be down for long. Feel free to cushion it if you want to. Okay, so what we're going to do, you're going to bring both hands inside the front leg and then stick your butt back behind you. Lower your chest and shoulders down and crawl your arms on a diagonal away from your front leg, but keep sitting into the front knee. Bend it more. See if you can crawl your right arm away from your hip. So getting a little more side body stretch on the front leg side. Stick your butt up and back again. This time, crawl your right arm underneath your left one and try to duck your right shoulder underneath your right leg like you were putting on a backpack. Yeah, it's the best way I can think to describe that. Push your shoulder into your leg. Even if you're just inside the front knee, don't worry about how far under you get. Just hug your leg towards your arm, press your arm back into your leg, and then tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. See if you can stretch your back heel away from the top of your head to add a little stretch here. That's it. One more deep, full breath. And then unwind, walk it around. We're going to come into the other side facing the other direction. So feel free to pause in a wide leg forward fold if you want. And when you get there, back your butt up, lower your chest and shoulders, and crawl your arms on a diagonal to start. So before we try to scrunch, which it's a big scrunch, we're going to give ourselves some room to scrunch. Keep bending into the front knee, but also try to keep your hips a little lifted so that when you walk your left arm underneath the right, or underneath the left leg, you can press those parts together firmly. So your left outer hip reaches back, your knee and head reach forward. Hands can be like chaturanga, like with your left hand behind your left foot, and then tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Try to take up more side body stretch here. Oh yeah. And then unwind, walk it around, wide leg forward fold. Option to maybe come upside down for a few breaths here if that's something that's in your practice. You could also just take a twist or a speed skater stretch. And we'll meet up back in downward facing dog. Your vinyasa. So you can decide if you want to flow and move a little bit more. You can decide if you want to pause somewhere or add something. Maybe you want to drink a water like I do right now. Whatever connects you to yourself. Okay. Tighten it. All right. So, from downward facing dog, bring your knees to the floor. Let's bring our left foot forward here. So back knee is on the ground. You can cushion it. Feel free to, tuck your toes under or flatten your foot. Lift your arms up. Interlace your fingers. Flip the palms. Press your hands away from your hips. Try to lift your side bodies up, and then bring your right hand forward, left hand back. Hug your shoulder blades together. Bring your left hand, your back hand, to either your low back or your leg as you lean your right body up and back behind you. And that's it. Take up some space and then bring your right elbow outside of your left knee. Press in, press your palms together. You might want to stack the elbows. And then see if you can lift up with the chest and around with the shoulders, like you were going to look over your left shoulder. That's it. From here, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Keep everything the same. Look down at your front foot. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, step your back foot forward, twisted chair pose. That's it. Sit the hips down, lift your chest and shoulders. Exhale, forward fold, unwind. That's it. Couple of deep breaths. And then bend into the right knee so you can step the left foot back. Lower the back knee to the floor. Lift your chest and shoulders. Again, interlace the fingers and flip the palms if you want. You don't have to do that. You can still do this with your arms free. So just a reminder, do it how you do it. Hips sit down, armpits lift up. Right arm back, left arm forward. Bring your right hand to your low back as you lean, maybe to your thigh or your calf or maybe even your ankle, depending on how long your arms are. That's it. And then bring your left elbow outside of your right leg. Try to lift up. I sometimes have to move my belly. That's okay, it's your body. You are allowed to move it however you want. Stack your elbows and palms. Lift your chest towards your thumbs. Tuck your back toes. Back knee lifts. Continue to widen your left hip to the left as you look back over your right shoulder. And then peek down at the floor. Deep breath in. Big breath out. Step the back foot up. Revolved chair pose. Try to lengthen your side bodies. One more breath. And exhale. Forward fold. Okay. Bring your feet together to touch. Sit your hips back like chair pose. It'll be too close. It's okay. Arms come up. Start to sit your butt back. Keep sitting your butt back. Keep sitting back until you come onto the floor. Good job. Scoot yourself on the mat so that you're nice and supported seated. I always like to sit up on a little height when I forward fold or when I'm doing seated poses. Right on the edge of the blanket can help tilt your pelvis in a way that supports the low back. So just know that, that option is always there for you. All right. We're going to keep the right leg forward. We're going to bend the left knee out to the side for Janu Shirshasana. If your bent knee is not touching the ground like mine isn't, feel free to grab something, a pillow, a stuffed animal, your shirt, to put under the leg so that it can press and release. One arm comes to either side of your right leg. lift your chest and shoulders. As a matter of fact, if you want, you can lift your arms here. That same thing we've been doing all class, lifting shoulders away from hips. See if you can keep that in mind as you reach your chest forward and out over the front leg. You can fold as deep as you want. So hands can be on the floor, hands can be on your foot. You can let your head and shoulders do whatever they're going to do. And then start to walk yourself up. Lift your left knee so that the foot is on the floor. Let's see, what are we doing here? Lift your right arm up into the air. Rotate towards your bent knee. And then bring your right arm either elbow outside of the knee or just hook your forearm around your leg for a little twist here. Roll your shoulders back. Lift up through your side bodies. Keep your long leg flexed, like notice if your foot got floppy, try to charge it back up. This has been my new favorite way to do this. Walk your left hand back further, press into your leg, rotate your chest, and then reach your top arm up and back. Oh, you might even be able to then hook a little deeper and walk yourself up. That's it. One more deep breath. Look forward. Keep the legs. Unwind the torso. Crawl your left arm inside your left leg between your right foot and your bent knee. Crawl your fingers as far forward as they'll go, and then walk them around the front of your right shin. Option to come into either like a full or partial bind here. Around the front leg, fold a little bit deeper. And then lift your chest and shoulders. Unwind. Shake out your legs a little bit. And then second side. So we'll start with Janu Shirshasana. Right knee bent inside your left leg. Again, feel free to prop the outer edge of your bent knee. Get after it. You could crawl yourself forward. You could lift your arms up. You can interlace your fingers and flip the palms. Wherever you are, armpits away from hips. Reach your side bodies long. Crawl yourself out. Fold over your front leg. And walk yourself back up. Bend your right knee. Lift up and rotate so that you can hook your elbow outside of your knee. Press them into one another to lift your chest and shoulders. So just start by taking a few deep breaths here. Maybe moving your belly a little bit or scooting things around. And then option to add that lean back to deepen. So right hand can come further back behind you. I'm still using my left arm to lift up and around to the right. So that as I lift my left arm and lean back, I'm taking up more of this side body length and then bringing it with me, to walk myself deeper up into the twist. Whoo, deep breath in. And exhale, look forward. Unwind the torso. You might want to walk your bent knee foot out to the side a little bit. I know I just did then. And then right arm is going to reach forward and out inside your front leg. Crawl your fingers as far away from you as they'll go. And then bring your right arm around the left leg. Maybe you connect hands behind your back or just press the shoulders and leg together. That's it. One more deep breath. And then exhale and unwind. Come all the way up. Legs are out in front of you for Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Nice long spine. If you're feeling this reaching forward and out option, you can do that here too. You could even literally hold something and try to put it past your feet. That's like, for me, that's usually how I can tell my side bodies are lengthening, is that like I can get further than if I'm just reaching, right? So the torso reaches just as much, if not more, than our arms and upper body do. When you get there, let your chin tuck again. Let your arms get heavy. Just a reminder to your nervous system that we're safe, even though we're doing things that are intense. Start to walk yourself back up. All right, one last little something before we get on to our backs. So we're going to cross our left ankle over the right knee like a figure 4. Hands can be behind the hips. You could bend your bottom knee to add more stretch. It might not add more stretch, it might add more hassle. So trust that your hip muscles that need the stretch are going to be the ones that get them. You could stay right here, or option to pick up your left knee with either your hands around your knee and foot, or you could hook your elbows around the outer shin or underneath the shin. And then we're rocking around. So just kind of anything goes here for your hip. Try to keep the bent knee foot flexed. Okay. From here, we're going to grab a hold of the left pinky edge of the left foot with your left hand. I'm pressing my right hand into the floor, and then I'm going to bring my left knee back behind my rib cage and try to sit up taller here. So like a little like archer's pose here. One option would be to stay with this. Another option would be another Janu Shirshasana with your bent knee inside your front leg. And a third option would be to pick your left leg up and try to put it over your left shoulder like a backpack. So that might be absolutely not happening. Cool, it doesn't have to. If it is happening, try to get it as high up over your left arm as you can. Reach your right hand over your foot for the pinky edge, and then make a kickstand with your left arm inside your left leg. Lift your chest and shoulders, tuck your chin. Kick with your chin tucked, kick your foot into your hand, and then maybe you're looking up and under your right armpit. Maybe your left leg is extending. Little sundial pose, and then unwind very slow. Whoo! So like truly every option that was offered is going to offer sensation, awareness, and challenge. So when your body gives you information about like, I can't do that, I don't want to do that, why are we doing that? That's your practice. Like that's the information we're looking for. We're not looking to perform every pose quote unquote perfectly. So as we go on the second side, ankle over knee, this side will probably be different than the first side. So instead of worrying about like getting it here, just see like how is your body able to offer you these forms? Like what is going on? Again, if you want to pick up your right shin, you can rock around a little on your hips. Try to lift your chest towards your shin so that you're not crunching your low back. And then right hand comes to the pinky edge of your right foot. And like you can see, I just did this kind of like butt scoot back move. That's a good one. We want to get the low back to lift here. So if you're more forward on your hips, that might be possible. Or bringing the knee back behind the rib cage, and then maybe you're reaching your left hand over top of the right foot. Right arm presses inside your right leg. So just like we did on all fours, putting the leg on like a backpack. Doesn't matter how high up it goes. Make a kickstand with the right hand. Press into the right leg. Tuck your chin. With your chin tucked, kick your foot into your hand. Oh, maybe you're rotating up and under your armpit. And then whenever you're ready, unwind. Oh, and come onto your back. So I'm going to use the blanket I was just sitting on to cushion my head. I always recommend that when we're on the floor. And do whatever you want. You could rock around a little. You could take a happy baby pose. You could certainly do that same backpack action kind of here, you know. There's a lot of ways to explore the stuff we explored today. But we're starting to wind down for a few minutes of supported rest. So if there's any last poses or shapes that are going to help you relax on the floor, you know, you are the person having the experience. You know, even though we are practicing like in spirit together, you are like at the helm now more than ever. You know, you might want to do more of what we were just doing. You might already be in Shavasana. Whatever the case is, trust that like what is happening is what we're looking for, even if it's not what we expected to find. And give yourself a little more time with whatever you're doing. And we're going to set ourselves up for a few minutes of rest. Shavasana, our final relaxation pose for class. Again, I always recommend something under your head and neck, especially one that tucks your chin a little bit. That chin tuck stimulates our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest part of our autonomic nervous system. And so one of the things that is like physiologically very beneficial for people when they practice yoga is when we offer ourselves challenging forms and shapes in our body, but we remind our nervous system that we're safe. We help recalibrate how our nervous system functions, and we get back to a place of homeostasis where our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems can work together instead of one always being on and the other one not getting its time to do its thing. And so once you get your chin tucked, you might want to bring something under your knees if you want to rest like that on the floor. You could also come into like a Suptabhatanasana with your feet together and knees apart. If laying on your back is not comfortable, you can lay on your side or come up to seated or rest on your couch. But for a few minutes, we're just going to rest and breathe. Let your face muscles go. Let your efforts go. Just a little bit of ease. And if you're comfortable, you don't have to move. Your time is really your own. But if you're ready to shift and move off the floor, slowly start to stretch out through your fingers and toes. Maybe roll out through your wrists and ankles. And if you want, you can stretch your arms up overhead away from your feet and get nice and long from fingertips to toes. And then hug your knees in, roll over to one side, pause there on your side for a couple of breaths. Just give yourself another moment to breathe. And then use your hands on the ground to press up to an easy seated position. And when you get there, you can let your hands rest somewhere on your legs or in your lap. Maybe together in front of your heart, or I know I love to stack my palms over my chest. And one more time, tuck your chin towards your chest and lift your chest up towards your chin. This little bowing gesture of gratitude. This little pranam. In Sanskrit, that means to bow. And really, the idea is not so much like subservience as it is honoring, or like offering ourselves up to something larger than just our current experience. And so just take a moment to remember that this is just one layer of varnish in your practice. That this beautiful piece of wood that you are gets richer and more complex and glows brighter with every pass of the brush. And whatever happened was exactly what we're looking for. So thank you all so very much for sharing your practice today. Hail yourselves, yogis, and have an excellent rest of your day. Let me know if you have any questions.